You can see there you got the blue and the brown going in there and everything. So I really do like the way the bone looks. You got the clip blade up front. They're using Case True Sharp steel on this. Oh man, I feel a little burr there, so I'm gonna need to work on the sharpening on this a little bit. Now, the video you're about to see is on this knife here. This is the Case Sea Dragon Stockman. This is the 032 pattern Stockman by Case. One of my favorite patterns, by the way, of Stockman's, at least when it comes to Case. And there's a couple reasons for that. I talk about that in the video. And I got to admit, I was a little forgiving in that video that I did. Maybe a little bit more so than I normally should be. And part of that is because this is a pattern of knife that I really like. And I'm pretty happy with Case knives. I know a lot of other people are not, and some people get very nitpicky on them. One of the things I noticed in the video after I did it, because I started to shoot the video, screwed up, and then I reshot the video. And when I reshot the video, I left out one of the issues that I had with this knife. So I wanted to bring that to your attention now, because since shooting that video, I watched the video that Rasputin's Castle did on the Sea Dragon Stockman, and also the one from Tired Tiger Baxter's blade. And they both had differing views on this knife. Though, in my opinion, both knives looked about the same as what I have here. You can see there's a little gapping going down the line there between the brass liner and the spring. This is something that has never been a big deal to me, something I'm very used to with all sorts of knives. So I don't see a big deal with it. I know a lot of people, if they see a hint of daylight, the knife is crap. Okay, that's fine by me. Also, blade rub is something that people have an issue with. I don't have that big of an issue with a Stockman with blade rub. I've got quite a few 032s. I've got 3 of them, actually, just 3. But all 3 of them have blade rub. I have numerous Stockmans. Many of them have blade rub. It's, to me, is something that comes with the pattern. I know other people can't stand it, especially people who are coming from the modern folder world. They feel blade rub is just something awful. And yeah, it leaves a mark on the blade. I talk about that to an extent in the video that I have that you'll see after this. But I wanted to bring up a point that was in take 1, but I forgot to talk about in take 2, and that was every one of the blades that I had a burr on the blades. And usually that's not something I run into with Case knives. I know people do run into that. But when I find a knife with a burr on it, I basically break out the sharpening stone and work on it. You know, my little whetstone here, it's a soft stone. And see if it's gone. Yeah, now it's gone. And then, you know, that's my answer to when I end up with a blade rub on a burr on a knife blade. Should it come from a knife that is coming straight from the factory? No, it shouldn't. I agree there 100%. A knife should not have a burr on the blade coming from the factory. It means that they didn't quite finish it. And it means that I have to finish it up. But you saw how long that took. And there's no burr on here now. Yeah, burr's gone now. And that's what I ended up doing with this knife when I got it. And, you know, I found it. I was like, oh, man, there's a burr. And it was like, and burr's gone. The hardest blade for me to fix on this knife was the pin blade. And interesting enough, the pen blade had the least amount of burr on it. It was right up here at the tip, but because it was at a curve in the blade, that took a little longer for me to work off, you know, getting that burr out. But all in all, it really took about 5 minutes to fix the burr on the knife. So to me, it wasn't that big of a deal. Now, I know a lot of people would get that, and if there's already another issue that really just sets them off, that's another compounding problem and everything else. And I'm not here judging anyone's viewpoint on the knife. Their viewpoint on the knife is just as legitimate as my viewpoint on the knife. Certain things can really set a person off, and it's justifiable. And like I mentioned, no, a case, especially a knife like this one, which is like a special factory offering and everything, for it to show up with a burr on the blade, that is problematic. And that is something that Smoky Mountain Knife Works needs to talk to Case about. And SMKW, maybe what they want to do with these knives when they're getting them, rather than announcing them and putting them out right away and everything, maybe it's time to not trust Case as much and do some spot checking on these knives, and, you know, open them up and see, hey, is there a bad burr on any of these blades, you know, and start checking them and see what's going on. Now, my knife, if it really matters to folks, where's the box at? I don't see the box in front of me here. I know it was made on March 22nd. Hold on, let me find the box. Yeah, so here we have it. March 22nd was the born date for this knife. And March 22nd, every blade had a burr on it. And yeah, there's a little bit of a gap right there on the back spring. But the bone, it's not as dark as what Baxter's blade had, but it does have the brown going on there. You got some nice blue and brown in there and everything else. So I was very happy with it. But I can understand that my standard for the knife is different than other people's standards for the knife. But I also like to collect Case knives, at least certain patterns of Case knives. And I've had really good luck with their toothpicks, but I rarely will buy a canoe because I've had issues with Case canoes. So that's something else I just wanted to mention with this video here. So with that said, and without further ado, let's move on to the main look at this knife that I did. Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Knife Chats with Tobias. Well, I managed to grab one. It is the 32 pattern Case Stockman and Sea Dragon bone. This is SMKW exclusive. They came out and sold out right away. I was fortunate. I just happened to go on the website, and then the next thing I know, they announced that it was available. And as soon as it was available, I ordered it right away. Did not fiddle around trying to think of anything. It's like, I want a 32 pattern. This is my favorite style of Stockman from Case. And I wanted the Sea Dragon, another one in Sea Dragon. I have a medium toothpick in Sea Dragon, but I don't have anything else in Sea Dragon. So it's like, wow, it's kind of my favorite Stockman from Case. I just as well grab it. And so I did. And then quickly right after that, it sold out. As you can see, for those who are unfamiliar with it, this one comes in right at about 3 5/8 inches long. I believe the same frame, the 32 frame, is also used for the Texas Jack that they make. What I like about it is the squared off ends, and also the blade options that you have on the Stockman. So you have a clip blade up front, and then behind that on the back side, you have two other blades. You have the sheep foot, which is on the same pivot as the clip blade. And then the other blade you have on this is a pen blade instead of a spade blade. And that's one of the other reasons I really like the 32 pattern, because it has that pen blade going on with it instead of the spade blade. Now, the spade blade is not that bad on these knives either, but I just prefer the pen blade. I like the looks of the pen blade, and also all the other blades on this. I like the blade options you have on this. Now, to be honest, I have more 18 pattern Stockmans or other medium Stockman, but that's mainly because I do have quite a few case Stockmans, and the 18 pattern is the one they make more of, it seems. The 32 pattern, they just don't make it as often, but I really do like the shape of it. I like the squared off bolsters, and I like the blade options on here. And I thought I would show it to you. This is my version of the Sea Dragon. Each one of them is going to look a little bit different. I believe what it is it starts as the Caribbean blue bone, and then they burn the Caribbean blue. I think that's what it is. It might be another shade of blue that they're burning. But in any case, once they burn it, you get the brown colors adding into there, and you have the darkness on the corncob jig going on in there, if you can see that. Both sides are not a perfect match here. You can see that as well on here. And that's because they are hand torched. That's one of the things that's going on. Now, like I mentioned, these are already sold out at SMKW. It's not like they're going to come out with another offering of it. But what is probably going to happen is they're going to start showing up on the secondary market, i.e. eBay, and you'll possibly be able to pick them up there. Now, the price of these was a little steep at SMKW to begin with. So the price on eBay is even going to be steeper. My bet is it's going to start around $100 or so, maybe a little less, maybe a little more on eBay. But on eBay, at least what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to most likely at least choose your option. So I bought mine blind. This is what showed up when I ordered it. The ones that are showing up on eBay, chances are the person will have some photos of it. If they're just using stock photos, be very wary of it. Ask to see some actual photos of the knife you're picking up. The other thing you got to be careful of with the ones on eBay is make sure that the box is coming with it. At least now they are actually saying burnt sea dragon bone. So they have the burnt sea dragon bone Stockman listed on the box now. I would insist on having it with the box if you're buying it secondary, because you can also just take the regular bone. I don't know if it's the sky blue or if it's the Caribbean blue, and they could torch it themselves. And if they do that, then, you know, it might not have the same shield, and who knows how well they did with the torching and stuff. So you got to be very careful. This is something that could easily be duplicated, or counterfeited is more the appropriate word to use for it. So I would look for the proper number of dots and stuff on the blade here. This is actually made in 2025. So you're going to have 5 dots on here. And it looks like 2 on the top, 3 on the bottom. It is in stainless steel. That is the other thing you need to look for on here. So 5 dots, stainless steel, and then the case arrow shield going on there too. Those are some of the things you should be looking for if you're buying it on the secondary market. You see there are brass liners. It looks like the center pin is definitely brass. I can't tell if these are nickel silver or not. They might be nickel silver for the second pins, the scale pins, or yeah, well, the cover pins, but the brass center pin. And then these look like they might be nickel silver. Definitely nickel silver pinched bolsters. That's something else to look for, because not every 32 pattern Stockman has a pinched bolster. They're all squared off, but not pinched. So those are a few things to look at when you're going to grab this on a secondary market, unless you're fortunate enough to grab it the first time around. Now, a few things to be warned about when it comes to the 32 pattern Stockman. Now, I only have 3 of them right now. I have this one in genuine India Sandbar Stag, and I have this one here. Actually, are they all? No. I guess they are all pinched, but man, not as pinched as these seem to be. These have a much more defined pinch. Anyway, the other one I have is in the peach seed jig, and this is in CV. And a lot of the 32 pattern Stockmans end up using CV or carbon steel. It's one of the things that a lot of people are drawn to with these is that quite often the 32 patterns will be in carbon steel or CV in the old days. This one is in stainless steel. One of the things you will notice with it, and this is something that is common in a lot of Stockmans, but is definitely noticeable in the 32 pattern. See right there? That is blade rub. And these knives are notorious for blade rub. So if you're looking for a Stockman that does not have blade rub, the 32 pattern is probably not for you. Both the sheepfoot, all of them actually. The sheepfoot here has some blade rub going on. See it right there, right where there you go. Very clear. See that? And it's also on the other side. If I can remove the fingerprint, see it? It's on the sheepfoot blade, it's on the clip blade, it is even on the pin blade. So if blade rub is a big problem for you, don't grab a 32 pattern Stockman. If you're okay with that, especially if you're just going to be using it, it's not going to be a big deal. And that's because the blade tolerances on these are very tight. I don't think the blade rub is nearly as bad on the Texas Jack. I really need to get the Texas Jack. I haven't picked up one yet, but it is built on the same frame. It just has 2 blades, and it might have a full channel going down the middle or a full liner down the middle, and that would eliminate the issues of blade rub. So if you're looking for, if you like the frame but don't want the blade rub, I would go with the Texas Jack, the 32 pattern Texas Jack. So that's my thoughts on this. I'm glad I got it. I knew there was going to be blade rub, so it's not a big deal to me. This is one for the collection. This is one for my collection as well because it's in, well, genuine stag. And this is the one that often goes into my pocket. This was a gift, and looks a little pocket worn, and that is because it is just the original peach seed jig that has been pocket worn. And you can see here we got a little bit of patina going on with it because it's a little bit of an older 32 pattern. But this is the one that gets carried. These 2 are for the collection. Any case, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you appreciate the tips on the 32 pattern. If you're looking for one that doesn't have blade rub, good luck. I've yet to see one without blade rub. It happens on this pattern. But if you're okay with the blade rub and you're just looking for something pretty, well, it's a really gorgeous frame. And the Sea Dragon, I really do like the Sea Dragon bone. So there's my thoughts on it. Talk to you again soon. let me take just a second to thank you once again for dropping by and spending a few minutes here at Knife Chats with the Pious. I really do appreciate it, and I do appreciate any comments that you leave. So please remember to give me that thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up and running. Thanks again for dropping by. Really do appreciate your time here.